that where we're talking about Eric Bailly being a good centre back and not being a top drawer world class centre back. You know, he has his weeks, he has his games. Remember his first season at the club, he was really promising, showed really good signs, quick and strong, maybe a bit rash at times, but that's part of his game. Sometimes I enjoy it. You know, sometimes I enjoy a defender who you don't quite know, is he going to take the striker for a shortcut or is he going to take the ball cleanly. And look, I suppose he's got his chances, and there's always been kind of spells where he's played well. But we haven't had a season in which he's avoided injuries, and most of them have been his own fault. And I think you look at Phil Jones, and we can all joke about him as well, but his development was really, really hindered by injuries. And I don't think it helps either with the likes of Phil Jones and Chris Smalling that they were there under Ferguson, and then when Ferguson retired, since then we've had managers being fired, different ideas. I think that's very difficult for any player. And I think they've all been a bit of a victim to that. But Eric Bailly, I'm delighted to see he's back in the team. Delighted to see Solskjaer can trust him again, because there was a long period of time in which he was starting Maguire and Lindelof ahead of Bailly because he trusted him more. Now, if I had to pick between the two, I'm definitely picking Eric Bailly because at least he has the pace. If there's a ball in the air, I know he's going to put his nose on it if that's all he has. But Lindelof sometimes runs away from headers. And I think if you had a back four or a back three and one of those players is running away from a high ball, that's a problem. That's
I
a
mean, there's
problem.
attributes about Lindelof's game that are good. I think his passing is outstanding.
Yes, yeah.
I think generally he's good at like reading through balls and things like that. But I will roll back on my criticism of that he gets out muscled, because I do wonder. You saw, was it in the Leicester game where he went off with his back? Clear, and he's been saying
All
he's had
season.
these back problems,
Yeah.
and I just wonder whether that has maybe hindered sometimes where he's had to get into like a physical contest or a foot race with a centre half, because listen, I've had back problems, and it's you are hesitant to really push yourself 100%. And in that respect, I give Lindelof a lot of credit for playing through what's going to be a lot of discomfort and trying to give everything he's got, but literally physically, when you have those issues with your back, you can't do it. So he does deserve some credit for that, Lindelof. And him saying, "Look, I'm pushing through because I want to help the team this season. Whatever faults I can have with some of his attributes, that's a good attitude, and an attitude we've not seen enough from United players in the last few years." But yeah, I mean, Bailly in terms of ability as a defender, that's night and day. Like Bailly and his ability could be as good as most defenders in the world, but the problem is he needs to stay fit. So he
Yeah.
needs to stay fit from now till the end of this season at least. That's his first aim, and then he needs to stay fit for a full season.
Another man at the moment who's been playing through pain in his shoulder, Marcus Rashford. Late on last night, the right place, I suppose, right time. Bruno Fernandes picks him out wide in the right, and he cuts in and gets that winning goal. Just one of those players, Mike, that no matter what stage of the match, it must be a nightmare for the opposing defenders, because if he gets the ball in the right position, it's just carnage, just trouble. I had a feeling when I seen him cutting in last night and beating his first man where the ball was going to go. And I know it took a lucky deflection, but United deserved that. United deserved that lucky deflection because we push for 90 minutes. And it's lovely to see a team. Now, I can also appreciate what Wolves did last night. They would have been happy with a point. And this Manchester United team we're watching, a few years ago under Mourinho, there was games we played like that. And I would have defended it on several occasions. But last night, it was tables turned. Manchester United were playing proactive football. They were going out for the win. And they grinded, and they got there in the end. And I think, although it was frustrating at times, and we're probably banging our heads off the pillows and around the sofa and stuff, but the reality is, it's a hard-fought win. They got across the line, 3 points on the board. We're 2 points off Liverpool, who are in first. A few months ago, we were talking about potentially sacking the manager.
Um, I don't listen. I think some of you guys at times, my fellow United fans, can get a bit carried away thinking there's some sort of conspiracy to get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's not the case. I think it's actually. I think if you look at the broadcast media, they probably have been a little soft on him at times. I think, especially the ex-players, have been very, very soft on him. And I think all the print journalists are doing, certainly in the broadsheets, is doing what they're supposed to do, now asking questions. Okay, why is it you think this guy's qualified for the job? Why do you think it's acceptable? I think it's right to ask questions when you lose 6-1 at home, Dale. Especially, and there was a couple of other games I looked at, I think it was right to ask questions after losing at Leipzig. Especially, he just looked so bereft after that game, Dale, Ollie. He did. I mean, he looked as sort of puzzled as the guys in the studio. And I wondered, there was a part of me that thought at that moment, has he just thrown his hands up with these players? Because I did wonder about that in that interview, because I've never seen him like that in an interview before. And then I saw him after the City game saying that's the best we played against City, and I said, no, it isn't. It just isn't. That's not true. That's not true. We played better against City twice this year, so don't tell me that. But I think the way we've recovered, that's what gives me a lot of encouragement. I still think and I think Rashford was absolutely right to say, let's not be talking about a title challenge yet. We're not even halfway through the season. It's 15 games. I think Rashford was saying, let's be looking at it when there's 10 games to go. Are we still in the mix then? And I think that's a big deal, because I've seen this with teams where they look like they're in the running and then they fall away in the last 10 games.